Howdy do, you spooky ghouls. This is One Frame Off. I'm Brody.
Rose Nightingale.
And I'm Jess.
And like we said, this is One Frame Off, episode 2, and it's spooky times.
Yes.
And just before we get anything, we're all here, we're comfy, we're all wearing pajamas, and we all got some drinks. What are we all drinking today?
I am drinking a rosé that someone gifted to me. It's not what I would normally drink. We all know I'm a beer gal, but I'm doing the rosé today. And it's...
Rosé
well,
today,
they will.
rosé all day.
You're right. Well, you all know. You all know that I'm a beer snob.
Yeah.
But I'm doing the wine today.
I feel like we've all had some good beer experience under our belts.
Yeah.
Rose has her corner, okay, guys? Rose has her corner. And right now, it's the 1911 Raspberry.
Can you tell everybody what 1911 is if they don't know?
It's just a craft cider.
It's a craft cider.
1911 craft cider. I remember we brought the donut cider, and yeah, y'all were telling me.
Oh, it's so gross.
It sounds really nice. It's a cider that tastes like
really good.
But like you told me that like the way they make it is they actually like soak donuts.
Yeah, they legit soak donuts in the batches of cider.
And that to me is just like the ultimate epic version of like soggy cereal.
No,
yeah,
here's the thing. It's cinnamon donuts that they soak too, I think.
Yeah.
It's got to be cinnamon.
It is. It's cinnamon brown sugar donut cider.
Yeah, something like that. It's weird.
I enjoy it. But to me, it tastes. There's not really like a donut aspect to it for me because I can't taste that. But it does. It tastes like a brown sugar cider.
All right.
It's delightful.
Teach their own.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm sipping on Quinn's whiskey. It's from Concord, North Carolina.
We love to keep it local here.
We love keeping it local. We're in Raleigh, North Carolina, so we got a lot of North Carolina products with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
You hear the ice.
Actually, I think 1911 is from New York.
It is.
But
my home state.
But we
well, that's local in a whole other way.
Yeah.
That's bringing a little piece of the North back down here with me.
Yeah, it is a brand you drink very frequently. I don't know where the hell this rosé is from. People gift me
Probably
wine
from
all the
Italy
time.
or France, one of the two.
Maybe
Something fancy like that. We'll say it's fancy.
Or
well, wine is
California.
Probably.
Or California. No, wine is regional. Like champagne is not champagne unless it comes from Champagne, France.
I've heard like a lot of snooty people say that.
It's not snooty. It's just like what it is.
Look, if a region of France earned the name of a wine,
Champagne.
like an entire section or variety of wine, I would be very snooty about that too. Like, excuse you.
Yeah, like I just made like
come from me to be
I just made
special.
like some tub champagne, and it's like yeah, it's champagne too.
I'd be down for it too. We would call it sparkling wine, but I would be totally down for it.
Tub champagne.
It's just your very regional variants just taste different. Yeah. Like how your New Zealand Sauvignon Blancs are very grapefruity. Shit like that. I mean, who cares?
Whatever. This isn't a podcast about drinks.
Snooze care. Jess.
But we are actually coming. It's late October. It's
late October. By the
late
time this
October.
uploads, it should be Halloween
just
day.
now finally starting to feel like fall in Raleigh. Like literally just like yesterday, I think.
That classic 70 degrees.
Yeah. Yeah, we were just now getting fall weather here, so we thought it would be the perfect
The classic
time.
70 degrees, and everyone bundles up because they think it's freezing out.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
I hate
Lord
the South.
have mercy on the South.
You know what? I love the South. I've lived here a long time. North
have I.
Carolina is definitely like the cultural Alamo of this area. Absolutely. It's Raleigh in particular is a wonderful place to live.
Yeah, the state of the halfbacks.
Yeah.
But as Brody, we're not talking about that. But as Brody mentioned, yes, it is spooky season.
Spooky season.
We get this uploaded. It will be the 31st.
Yeah. And we're here to talk about a few of our like I was about to say some of our favorite Halloween movies, but like we're doing some things very specific. We're talking about The Conjuring, Ed and Lorraine Warren,
James Wan.
James Wan in general, and of course, I need to touch base with everybody about Malignant.
which I have not seen. Jess has seen.
I've seen it twice already.
She's shown us a few clips, and it looks very redonkulous.
As
you can say redundant too, actually. Yeah,
redundant, redonkulous, reductive, risotto. I don't know.
As tradition holds, we always have to have someone who has no clue what we're talking about, and that would be me. Mm-hmm. I am a complete and utter wimp. When
Yeah.
it comes to horror, Candyman, the original one, scared the hell out of me. I'm not gonna lie. I had to have a friend watch that with me. I went to see Old with Brody and Jess.
Yeah.
And Brody will attest to this. I was climbing up the back of my seat half the time.
She was very curled up.
I did not like it.
Yeah, that movie sucked. It sucked.
Technically, very.
Well, I'm gonna
I
tell you
don't-
right now, good cinematography. It's
Great
not.
cinematography.
It's not the chills I'm looking for when I'm going to a horror movie. I mean,
Hey
it's
guys,
nice.
how do we get out of here? I don't know. Did anyone try the back exit?
You mean swimming through the fucking coral?
Yeah, no one tried that.
Well,
I wouldn't think
There's
swimming-
literally a
Here's the
back
thing,
door.
To be fair,
there are
I
way
would
too
not-
many psychological things going on to unpack. Why, like in an hour and a half movie.
Also,
Yeah.
like, the whole thing with, oh, hey, we're friends, I'm gonna give you this code, was never really, like, highlighted. It was kind of like an offbeat, almost.
Are you kidding? The whole time I'm thinking like, read the fucking letter. Like, read the fucking letter. Like,
No, it was just, like, an odd thing, and then he's like, oh, wait, I remember I have a letter.
But if he didn't wait like a
hadn't it
whole
only
day,
been like one day though?
Yeah.
yeah, it was like one day.
Yeah, to be fair, that's a lot going on. I'll play devil's advocate here. That's a lot going on
It
in
is.
one day
It is.
to have aged to what, about 45, 50 and
Yeah.
have a child and lose it and almost everybody that you love.
And not even get married to the baby mama and have a mortgage.
Well, I mean, they
Those kids were messed
They
up.
dodged a bullet with that one in my opinion, but
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
it is.
That's your baseline. Old scared me, so did the original Candyman.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go, first and foremost, not gonna go see Candyman, the
The
remake.
Jordan Peele one, I still need to see it.
Screw that.
I don't know.
Like,
I've
I love his
I've heard
work.
it's really good.
Me
I
too.
love Jordan Peele. Peele?
Peele,
Peele?
yeah.
Peele.
Love him. Great work. Amazing. We'll talk more about him
Did
in
you like
another
Get Out?
episode. I didn't even watch Get Out. This is the baseline. I told you. I like
Get
his
Out.
work. But
I know we're
I'm
not
not gonna watch it.
Rose, you just gotta go through it. Like I know, like
No. Absolutely not.
look.
Jess is lucky I'm watching horror films on Halloween. That is the one day a year.
Hey,
Look,
hey
I
guys.
One day a year. I will allot to watching a horror film that is
Yeah, we're gonna watch
significant.
Hereditary.
Rose, I have. Oh no.
No, we're gonna watch
Absolutely
Hereditary.
not.
Oh,
No.
we absolutely are.
You're gonna
have a
kill her.
list. I
You're
have a
gonna
list.
kill her.
I have a list and I have a rule. I will only watch horror films that are significant to either the franchise or that drastically changed the industry.
Okay, well
Okay.
then Hereditary is actually really appropriate.
Hereditary is appropriate. Get Out's appropriate, and I have some tips to help you out through your next spooky ventures. Next time you want to watch a scary movie,
You mean
but
either this Halloween or next one?
you could wait. You could wait a year. You could.
I will definitely wait a year.
You could keep this in your back pocket. And
I
wait
think
a year.
I saw a meme the other day, and I think this will be appropriate for you. It's anytime you are afraid in a horror movie, all you have to think is that's just a bunch of theater kids.
Yeah. The least threatening
The
thing in
least
the world.
threatening people, also the most magical and wonderful. But let's be honest here, that's a bunch of theater kids.
Yeah.
It ain't scary. It's a bunch of makeup and corn syrup and theater kids putting on a show for you.
I love it.
Yeah, so that could be your mantra.
But anyways, we want to get back to our main topic for today.
Yeah. Well, we can get back on track here.
all want to talk about the Conjuring movies, the movies inspired by
Not
the cases
even
of.
necessarily the Conjuring movies. I'm going to talk about multiple James Wan movies.
Yeah, James Wan, The Conjuring, and some, just lightly touching on Ed and Lorraine because they are very fascinating.
They are wonderful.
And
Like the
has
more.
had
It's
an
a great
impact.
story. Like
Yeah.
whether or not you believe
You actually agree with them.
or agree,
Yeah.
whether or not you think they are con artists or not, regardless,
Oh, they
a very
totally
interesting
are.
story.
They totally are. I'm putting my whole stance. They are.
Oh, 100% grifters in my opinion. But
I think that they definitely are like grifters and con artists, but at the same time, I still think they believe it.
But I will say there is one case that their presence actually made shit worse and was left out. So when we get to that, I'll be sure to talk a little bit more about that.
Granted,
Okay,
I did work on two different sources. I worked on very non-biased listicles talking about their biggest hoaxes and grifts, and then I also saw the Universal Pictures put out their like little life story documentary after making The Conjuring. So that's probably in their favor.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'll also bring up one big thing when we're talking about the movies. You got to bring up the court case between the man who owns the rights to Ed and Lorraine Warren, their like life story and shit, versus Warner Brothers. So we'll talk a little bit about that and how
I guess
that court case
a
is
great
made.
jumping off point would be guys, who are Ed and Lorraine Warren for those that don't
Who
know.
are Ed and Lorraine Warren? So, Ed and Lorraine Warren, both recently deceased and married, and both
When did
born
they
with-
die?
Lorraine died in 2006.
2006, and Ed before that. I
Okay.
don't remember
And,
the year
like-
specifically.
Hold on, I got you. He
So they weren't
died-
alive for a lot of this success in
Yeah.
terms of like a positive
Oh, I'm sorry.
reimagining of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
Let me reiterate, let me fact check. Ed died 2006. Lorraine died 2019.
Okay,
Right.
okay. Cool.
But
But
anyways,
they were actually alive for a lot of this,
yeah.
which is interesting.
They lived a life as pioneers of modern ghost hunting. And
Demonology.
demonology, created the School of Demonology in New England. Was it? I know that they're like living in Connecticut, and they made the museum in their backyard.
Yeah, in 1952 they founded the New England Society of Psychic Research, or NESPR.
Nesper.
NESPR. They're one of the oldest ghost hunting groups to be recognized in the country right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And they
There's
both
that.
believed that they had like
Lorraine was psychic.
Lorraine was
and
psychic, saying she saw like lights around people and believed that to be sort of like
She
their
was
way
a-
of communicating with her.
She was a vibe checker, a human vibe checker.
She was a vibe check of a lady. I'll tell you what.
Like your auras and stuff?
Yeah.
Or like,
Yeah.
She would walk in
It's
and go,
it reminded me a lot of Luna Lovegood and how she like saw like the invisible things with her cool Lady Gaga glasses.
yeah, but she didn't need Lady Gaga glasses. She'd
No,
just
she-
walk in and go, oh, shit, there's a ghost in this house. Well,
There's a
no
ghost
shit,
here.
we're
It's
calling
right
you
there."
because there's something. Oh, no. It's in the room. It's in the corner.
We're cleansing this bad boy.
Yeah, and Ed, you want to talk about what he did?
Ed was a funny guy. He would like I heard from the Universal documentary that he would usually go up to these so-called haunted houses before even entering. He would sit down for 30 minutes and sketch the house, and then just come over
so
there.
he was a sketcher in real life.
Yeah, he
was-
was
he-
an artist.
He was a
Oh,
sketchy
cool.
guy.
Yeah.
But he would sketch over there, and that would kind of be like his icebreaker before going over. And I just remember before that, he was in the Navy, and Ed and Lorraine kind of met and fell in love while he was on leave. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, but he was the sole survivor of a ship going down, was it?
I didn't read that.
Someone
So
else.
It's something like that.
There's
but-
someone listening to this who's like a bigger nerd about this than me, who's like, no, that's wrong.
But they did They did meet when he was on leave, though,
Mm-hmm.
and it was something similar. Like he was involved in a shipwreck.
Do you remember the whole, like, what Lorraine said was how they met?
No, I don't.
So, and this is the most 1950s thing ever. They met in an ice cream parlor, and Ed wanted to go and buy her a Coke, and she was like, I don't drink Coke, but I'm gonna drink this Coke with my soda pop and my ice cream. And Ed said, man, I knew for a fact you were a gold digger after that day.
Because she wanted a Coca-Cola float.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
they popped into their Chevy Bel Air and flew off into the sunset.
Yeah. I just don't really have a positive view of him. I'm sorry.
Look,
Yeah, but the way
despite
they
like,
met, though, is so fucking cute.
I mean, that is
yeah,
cute.
Despite them being like some weird people throughout history, it's maybe the best love story.
It is wholesome.
It's a
It is
wholesome
very
love
wholesome.
story, despite the fact that they probably enabled each other.
Well, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And Ed also, he was a big researcher as well. So some of the cases, he would look into the history of it while Lorraine was off doing her psychic stuff or
Yeah.
whatever. But they did, I want to say like 20% of the research together. 80% of the rest of the research was almost on Ed.
Well, that's the
at
thing that I
point.
kind of like took away from the whole couple. They were just so in their own world.
Yeah.
Oh, most certainly.
And they supported each other the whole
I feel
time.
like that's really depicted really well in the Conjuring movies. Them being in their own bubble of a world. Where they kind of just exist for each other and
I'm going to
only
sound
for
like
themselves.
the one who's off real quick. I actually haven't seen too many of the Conjuring. I haven't seen the first Conjuring, which is all about them as a couple back in the day. So,
Yes
I don't know
and
how
no.
to...
Yeah,
So
like they
the
flash
Conjuring-
back to it.
The Conjuring covers one of their most famous cases. Jess, you want to talk a little bit about the movie, though?
So, like, full disclosure, I've seen the Conjuring movie. I saw it in theaters when it came out, and I've seen it at least 3 or 4 times since then. But I tried to rewatch it for this podcast, and I gotta be honest with you guys, I couldn't sit through it.
No?
Couldn't do it. I really, really tried. I couldn't sit through it. I just found it really boring. And I think it's just like my recent distaste for PG-13 horror movies that are PG-13 for the sake of being a major release.
That's one thing I noticed about all of us. We all
Yeah.
have sort of our like niche ideas of like good horror movies. Jess is a strong believer that like if you're gonna do something scary, it's gotta be like rated R or harder.
For adults, I think there's a certain threshold we need to be broken. And I'm not saying that there aren't scary PG-13 or even PG movies, because there are. But if you want to talk about like actually taking me where I need to go,
It's gotta be
I
provocative.
need to see the blood and the guts, and I need serious themes, and I need despair and human suffering. I'm sorry. Like, I just do.
I agree on like the serious theme stuff. Like to me, like S tier horror is the like the Haunting of series on Netflix, the Haunting of Hill House and Bly Manor.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like that's not just like, hey, it's the spooky, scary jump scares that'll happen every now and then, as much as just like building up an atmosphere and a lore and like the big melancholic drama that surrounds people. That's scary to me.
Well, yeah. Well, like, even those in particular, which I know we don't get a lot of with horror movies. And I know before we started recording, we were talking about Hereditary, which is a great example. And we don't need to touch on this for very long. But a well-acted, which Hereditary...
With that fucking face on your face.
Yeah, a well-acted, well-written, like, gutting family story. You could take away a lot of the gore from that movie and it would still be petrifying because it's such a real raw subject.
Like the scene that I always show people when I want to convince them is that one where it's like the kid is like in class and then you can see him getting possessed.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
then he's just like banging his head on the desk and then he just snaps out of it. You could not do that unless you're like a great actor, and I'm like there with him.
Oh, and you know, fun fact, he's also an old.
Is he really?
Yes, he is. He really he is an old. What's his name?
I want to say Alex Wolff, but that could easily be wrong.
I'm not going to Google it. It's
We're not
the
gonna
handsome
Google it.
kid
We
with a
don't
mole.
Google things here.
The handsome kid with a mole. That's in Hereditary and Old. You guys know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, if not, you can Google it.
Well, back to The Conjuring, though. I mean, it's your classic haunted house story, like full all the way through. It's even very similar to A Haunting in Connecticut, which is also based off an Ed and Lorraine story. But
well, the Conjuring takes place in Rhode Island because the case that's based off of is called the Perrin family. And basically the Perrin family, they move into this old-ass house that somehow survived one of the worst historically
every
like,
James
one
Wan
of,
movie has a family that moves into a house. No matter how old it is, the walls just always look dirty. Have you guys noticed that? Anybody? Like, literally everyone. Like, even
that's not how the house is, though. The house looks pretty fucking cool. And
No, it
actually,
doesn't. The house looks terrible.
the
On the
actual
inside,
house-
it looks like no one has freaking pine-sawed those walls in 15 years. And that's with every James Wan movie, the walls look smudged and dirty.
Yeah, but in
check
real
it out,
life,
guys. I'm telling
the
you right
Perrin-
now. I'm telling you right now, none of those walls are smudged.
Welcome back to our architecture podcast.
Okay, no. But
Why,
the
James
Perrin-
Wan?
The
Why?
Perrin house, though, the actual house that is in Rhode Island, you can definitely go see it.
Oh, the real house. Okay.
Yeah, the real house. Was actually, what was it, a kindergarten or grade school, intro grade school?
I didn't do that much research.
No.
But it was for about a few years or so. Like, the Perrin family...
Did that have to
moved
do
in.
with why it was so haunted?
Yeah. So there's a part of it. So the parents move into an old-ass house in Rhode Island, and this house somehow survived, miraculously, one of the worst historical hurricanes of its time in Rhode Island. So the parents move in.
The
First
water
few
damage,
months-
that's why the walls look bad.
Hold on. First few months is perfectly fine. And then a few months later, it's like, ah, shit. Weird stuff is going on. I don't know what the hell's this is. They're like, okay, maybe there's just odd coincidences. Oh, a few months later, they're like, nah, it's ghosts. It's gotta be ghosts. And they're like, okay, we can live with a ghost. What the hell? Like, every normal person at that time, sure. It's like the 40s, the 50s. Let's just live in a fucking house.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's supposedly haunted.
I mean, look, man, it would happen to you today. You get locked in on that fucking mortgage. You can't get out that quick. You know,
like,
how are you
gosh.
gonna resell it? You're gonna make peace with that ghost.
Yeah, you gotta learn to be
So-
roommates.
100%.
That's
100%.
what they're thinking. They have like 3 or so small kids, but they're at one point though it starts getting malicious.
It's
the
like
ghosts-
in the movie, in the first Conjuring, I think it's like 4 kids.
It's like
It's
3 or
a
so.
lot of kids.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta kill off at least 2 of them.
Well,
to be
there's
good.
2 that share a room. I think there's one older sibling, and then there's obviously like the token young child that
Yeah.
sees shit around the house.
Well,
Yeah.
The kids
Yeah.
actually are significant. They do play a role in this case because
They do in the movie too. Like some of the scariest points are with the children. Specifically the 2 girls in their bedroom with the ghost pulling the the blankets off their bed and pulling them out of bed. And that's a reoccurring trend actually in all the Conjuring movies. It's like,
Conjuring, and also I feel like I've seen that in Paranormal Activity.
oh,
too.
absolutely.
absolutely.
Well, because it's literally
It's
like
just
such a
a token ghost thing.
primal childhood fear though.
It's like a token ghost thing. Like, yeet, these
Yeah.
sheets are mine.
No,
I
it's
need them.
it's literally like you being afraid of the monster under your bed. It's still that you're so vulnerable when you're sleepy and in your jammies at night.
Right.
No matter how old you are, that's always going to be a terrifying
They
thing.
know that blankie is what's keeping you afraid from the horrors.
It's
and the
my
darkness.
shield against the demons.
Yeah. So the kids are like, okay, whatever. Mom and dad, they're just saying whatever. Just live with the house, live
Yeah.
with the ghosts. The ghosts, or at least one particular ghost, becomes malicious and starts quote unquote
Malignant.
attacking the family. The kids starts getting afraid.
Yeah, man, it's yanking those kids out of bed. They can't get up for school on time, you know.
And they call Lorraine Warren. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the Warrens, this is one case that their presence actually makes shit worse.
Yeah, they like bring out the worst in the ghosts.
Yeah, because they really provoke the ghost and provoke the quote unquote demon that lives in the house. And the
I think
parent
that's also a
family-
plot in the movie as well.
The parent family is just like, okay, you're making shit worse, get the fuck out. And Lorraine are like, all right, peace, we solved this. Like, everyone is quote unquote gone.
Yep.
Fast forward a few years, and there's suddenly a like kindergarten or grade school, early grade school.
Right.
It's a place where young children,
Something
are going
where
to
young
learn.
Wait,
children can be
so
victims.
it was a school first, and then it became a home, and then it became
No.
a school again?
No, it was always a home.
Okay.
I mentioned being a grade school earlier, but that's just like part of the history of the house.
Yeah.
So it was a house. It stayed a house. Now it's a kindergarten
Okay.
school, right? Pre-K or whatever. And the little kids are starting to freak out because there's a bent neck lady, or like a bent over lady.
Which is
like,
totally what with the Haunting of series?
Yeah, you saw me perk up.
I
when
did. No.
She said bent neck lady, and I'm like,
yeah.
Because let's be honest, best twist and like a mini series horror.
oh my god. And just like the way like they just bring it full circle is just like,
And
oh,
that actress, shit, what is her name? She's so fantastic.
I don't know any of those
Wait,
people's
I need to know them because I watch You as well, and she's in that.
Is
But
she?
yeah. She's in the 2nd and 3rd season.
I've been recommended You, but I've been told like from a lot of people who have anxiety, just like please do not watch You.
I mean, I have a general anxiety disorder, and I've seen
Yeah.
all the seasons,
Well, I know
and
people
it's
who-
so not based in reality at all.
Right, but I've known people.
Maybe close
who
your
do-
blinds, ladies.
Yeah.
What series are you talking about?
You. It's about like. Oh no, Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah, Haunting of Hill House.
Oh yeah, Haunting of Hill House. It basically is like very much like the tropes that we all just discussed. It's just like
Yeah,
but
that's
like
based off of
super
the
well done.
Haunting
Yeah.
of Bly Manor, right?
Yeah, it's It's the same people.
Yeah, Rose,
I-
I swear to God, I know you don't do scary stuff.
You
but
could do Bly Manor. I think Hill House might be a
Jess-
little scary for you, but Bly Manor would be fine for you.
Yeah,
Or
Jess
if-
has been telling me to do.
Bly Manor you would really enjoy.
If nothing else, there's one episode in Haunting of Hill House where it's all supposed to look like one continuous shot, and from a technical level, that's just
like Birdman.
moi, like chef kiss moi.
Yeah.
That's really hard to do.
It's really hard to do, especially when you put in a flashback.
Oh my god.
Oh, are you talking about this, like the sepia episode? Yeah, that one's good. Yeah, you would like that as well because it's all lore, which I know. Well, that's the thing though, Rose, is you love lore, and
love
both
lore.
shows, but specifically Bly Manor, it's all lore.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Give
It's
me
all
that
learning
look.
the history
Give
of
me
all
that
the
look.
different ghosts, all the characters, how they interconnect. I mean, it's wonderful.
Okay, just to give you guys a level of how much I love lore, I've watched every single one of Matthew Patrick's, Matt Pat from the Theorist team.
Yeah.
FNAF, Five Nights at Freddy's. I love I fucking love lore, man. Give me all the lore you can, because I will eat it up and soak it up like a sponge.
I
Yeah.
can imagine your best self being like in like anytime there's like a fantasy world and they show a librarian.
Yes! That would be me!
That's Rose, yeah.
That would
Yeah.
be me, bitch! I'd be chilling in the
I am Rose. I keep the archives of the forbidden lore.
And I'm stealing the cheese wheels in the closet.
Yup.
That's who I am.
We filled very different roles.
Yeah,
in
we
the
all.
fantasy worlds.
Yeah, I'm stealing cheese wheels and running around.
Well, I would be the very
Stealing
knowledgeable
horses.
adventurer that you have to go hunt down if I'm not at my library.
Yeah.
I would be useless.
If not, you're probably like the better version of the goblins in Harry
Someone
Potter.
has to kill the spiders for me.
Yeah, I will kill the spiders.
See? There you go.
Rose
Not
is talking.
useless.
Rose has never played Skyrim. Like side note, so I was showing her Skyrim the other day.
And I came across the big ass spider, and I'm like,
We're in Bleak Falls Barrow.
Oh,
We've got a
there's-
long.
there's a lot of those.
We got a long haul to go, gang.
Yeah. Arachnophobia for the win. Just to give you a level. Switch, meet wall, because I played Luigi's Haunted Mansion, and as everyone know, you know, the spiders look cartoony as shit, but I was
Right.
not expecting a Black Widow to pop up randomly on my screen. Boom, almost through it.
So just to get a good level on your tolerance to horror, Luigi's Mansion,
Too much.
too much.
Because of the spiders. Look, if you didn't have the fucking spiders, it'd be perfect. That'd be the level of horror I'm at. I'd be great.
Rose
It'd be
wants a
wonderful.
game called Luigi's Mansion, and it's just
Without
It's just a
spiders!
mansion,
And it's
a
just
really
Luigi.
nice mansion.
It's just Luigi filling up his mansion
No,
with
I
nice
want
little
the
trinkets.
ghosts. Give me King Boo. I want the ghosts. I don't care about the spiders. Give me the ghosts, please and thank you. Not all the creep. Like, give me the mice. I don't care about a fucking mouse. I grew up with them. My mother had them. Just a little side note.
Okay, so we just ran through the basic story of the first Conjuring movie, how it related to Ed and Lorraine.
Oh,
Yes.
we got sidetracked because I talked about the bent neck lady. So the kids.
Yeah, well,
were-
we had to mention.
Yeah, the parents.
So good.
Yeah.
The parent house was a kindergarten. The kids were complaining about this lady who had a bent neck. There's actually in the basement a drawing of the bent neck lady. It's a kid's drawing, obviously.
It's always a kid's drawing.
Underneath one of the tables. Just like randomly, they were putting away the tables, and when they folded it up on the back underneath, the kids were like, "Oh yeah, that's the bent neck lady. Who the fuck is the bent neck lady? Like, what the hell?" Right?
It was you all along.
No. But that the kids were just complaining about it, and so it stopped being a grade school or kindergarten, pre-K, whatever. It stopped being that and went back to a house, and it still lives and still chilling in fucking Rhode Island. You can go visit. But that's basically, in a very tight nutshell, what the parent house is and what the parent case was.
The movie, I'm sure most of you have seen it. For those who haven't, it's well made. There's no complaints. It's well acted. It's well made. It's a PG-13 well done horror movie. I thought it was going to be total trash when I first saw it, and I remember leaving the theater with my husband going, "Wow, that was actually pretty good," which I think is the attitude you should take in for most James Wan movies, and you'll have a good time.
Yeah.
All right, so we talked a little bit about the first Conjuring and the first, well, it's not the first Ed and Lorraine case, but it's
No,
probably
but it's
besides the Amityville with our generation, it's probably the most
That's like
popular.
one of
One
the
of the
like
most
more
the
popular
parent,
ones,
yeah,
yes.
for sure.
One of the most controversial cases that they've covered.
Can we
Yeah.
talk about probably like the most famous thing to do with the Warrens though, like the Annabelle doll?
Yeah.
All right.
So for this, I rewatched Annabelle Creation. I watched
And
and I came to a few conclusions. One, the only thing that can kill people in horror movies is cars.
yes.
Sorry, I'm laughing so much because Annabelle apparently killed the actual doll. I'll talk about the history of the doll in a minute when Brody's done. I'm laughing because apparently Annabelle caused a motorcycle crash.
I did
Really?
hear that, yeah.
Respect the doll, guys. Respect the doll.
Look, I'm just seeing so much stuff in like horror movies in general where it's like Pet Cemetery.
Oh my god.
I want to say there was a Conjuring movie where there was a woman hit by a
course.
car and she broke her leg for the rest of the movie.
I just watched the Child's Play remake, and there's some car shit in that too. Also, side note, it's not that bad.
But no, go on.
I
Let's
like,
talk about
but,
Annabelle.
yeah, whatever. Cars kill people. That's the real horror. But spooky dolls, though.
Oh lord.
So Ed and Lorraine Warren, sort of like the crown jewel in their backyard museum, is the Raggedy Ann doll that inspired the movie Annabelle, which is supposed to be not is it possessed or is it like a conduit for demons?
No, so the story goes
In the movies,
that
I feel like they describe it as more of a conduit, but I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
in real life though, Annabelle is a Raggedy Ann doll. Her name is Annabelle. So this young woman, about mid-20s, 30s, moves out with a friend into an apartment, and her mother gets her this Raggedy Ann doll as a housewarming gift. Well, they notice a few odd things, like Annabelle's never in the room that she was left in. She's always, like, in a different room. And they get a different psychic, not the Warrens yet,
Nope.
to come in and talk to Annabelle, because they're like, well, what the hell's going on?
These
They
are the
found-
two nurse roommates, right?
Yeah, the nurses. They're nurses. So they get the psychic to come in, and the psychic's like, okay, first of all, the name is Annabelle. And secondly, she's this young girl, and anyone who knows about, like, quote-unquote demonology knows that demons love to disguise themselves as young children, specifically young blonde girls. Who knows why, but that's just how it is.
They just want something vulnerable, and that's what they believe is the
specifically
case.
The cherub looking
Yeah.
children, little cherub babies.
Yeah, really. So the roommates are like, okay, that's fine, that's cool, whatever. Annabelle hasn't hurt us. We'll respect Annabelle. We'll play with her, whatever. We'll appease the doll, basically. The boyfriend of either the owner of the doll or the roommate, well, he stays over one night and wakes up to Annabelle having, it's kind of sleep paralysis, where you don't know if you're actually asleep or whatever. You can't move.
You're in like that REM state.
Yeah. So he has the vision of Annabelle on his chest, constricting him, scratching down his chest.
I don't know why I'm laughing. That's like cute.
Scratching, oh my gosh, I'm trying, really scratching his chest.
Yeah,
up,
but
whatever.
if you know that you've been like subconsciously afraid of this doll for a while, it would make sense to have a dream like that. I'm just saying, like, from an outward
he wakes up.
perspective.
Yeah.
He wakes up and there are scratches. There are 3 deep scratches on the center of his chest.
Did he check his fingies?
He's like, all right, fuck this, I'm never staying over. Well, that's never happened to either of the roommates before. And they're like, well, shit, maybe Annabelle just doesn't like him. It actually, after that event, happens to the roommate of the owner of Annabelle. And she goes, oh shit, okay, this has happened twice now. Time to call in the Warrens. I don't know why that warranted, 2 attacks.
Put in the Warren symbol.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Flash that shit up in the
Oh
sky.
my god, that would be such a great
So,
cartoon.
The Warrens come in.
I mean, like, they're the real life Scooby-Doo.
Oh,
Yeah.
I could see it on Adult Swim right now. I love it already.
Scooby-Doo's better.
No, I don't know.
Shaggy,
I don't know,
Shaggy
man.
And Shaggy and Scoob are like the best tag
I'm
team.
just saying.
You put Scooby-Doo on at the bar today, and
I
they were at a Kiss concert. Okay,
Yes!
they were saving Kiss.
Kiss
That's
is
terrible.
great.
No,
First and foremost, Kiss, I
no.
love
Gene
them.
Simmons is a piece of shit, and Kiss sucks.
I
But
love
his
their
tongue,
music.
though.
Look,
No, who
they
cares?
make
What'd
me
that tongue do?
What does the tongue do?
What'd that tongue do?
That's just,
nothing.
It's just a thing. Anyways, So
I'm sure if you Googled what does Gene Simmons' tongue do, you would find out very quickly.
I don't even think you have to Google that. But anyways,
No,
so
ask
they
your
call
uncle.
in the Warrens, and the Warrens are like, "Oh shit, it's possessed by a demon." Okay, what the fuck? Great, good to know that we went from child spirit, basically an angel, to fucking demon, other side of the spectrum, and it gets put in this. They contact someone, some priest or whatever, who ends up like putting up the chain. Gets to the Vatican. Vatican's like, okay, we'll help you. Like someone up high up.
Yeah.
It's like, we'll help you make a very special box. Now this box has a card on it. It's soaked in holy water and is a very specific type of wood.
Yeah.
Everything is specific.
It's Christwood.
Down to the glass that they used for the door. And they seal Annabelle the doll in a door, like in this box that they got help with.
Yeah.
To conceal and to basically
She's like on
Sealed
display.
up.
Entrap.
Yeah, she's entrapped in this
Yeah.
box and is put on display at the Warren Museum, the Occult
Which
Museum.
I just want to talk about for a short period because that is described by Lorraine Warren as the most haunted place ever. And
Because they
Except
have
for
a-
Zach Bagans' museum in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Well, they
Well,
have a bunch of their
they're
occult
competing.
shit. They have Annabelle there.
right.
They have a few other knickknacks and such, housed at this museum.
In the Conjuring movies, it's depicted where I do think I do enjoy it as an ending to all the movies where they take a haunted set piece from that movie and place it in their museum. It's a
Yeah.
nice, it is a nice little wrap up ending sequence to all the movies that I do enjoy.
They place a bunch of their knickknacks and shit.
I believe in the first Conjuring, it is Annabelle that they put away.
Yeah, I remember the Annabelle kind of came from a throwaway line where it's like, "Hey, what's up with this doll?" And it's like, "Oh, you do want to know that."
Oh yeah, you have to respect
Well,
Annabelle as well.
That's
in
true.
real life, if you ever get the chance to see the actual doll,
If
be
you-
respectful. Because as I said, she has caused a motorcycle crash.
Yeah, if
quote
you-
unquote.
If you time travel
Pause.
back to 2018 and visit their museum,
Or
and-
wherever Annabelle ends up.
well, she could be anywhere by now. I don't know where.
Why would
Apparently-
she be anywhere? What happened?
Apparently
So-
in 2020, she got, quote unquote, she was escaped.
Ah.
But somehow returned
She is
herself.
in some private collection. I wouldn't be surprised. Some sort of Harvey Weinstein-esque man. That doll's in his house.
Oh,
No,
God.
because the Warrens, one of their stepchildren or something has it. They have
Yeah.
ownership of everything. The Warren family,
Everything has a price.
excuse me, everything in the Warren Museum is still owned by the Warren family. Everyone who lives on,
Right.
precedes them and shit.
It was just a lot of news people were like, "Hey, let's make a funny headline of
yeah,
the haunted doll is somewhat loose on the world.
on the world. Apparently, no.
She spooned her way out of the holy water wooden Christwood prison of hers and is now roaming
Yeah, how
the
would
earth."
you, as a demon, get out of that fucking box? It's soaked in holy water.
It's because a person opened it and took it out of there and then put it in their house in another Christwood box.
Yeah.
okay.
I like to believe she's still hitchhiking around the country.
Oh my God.
Okay, well, that's not happening because you
Alright.
saw that robot that tried to hitchhike across the United
Aw.
States and it got
It
beat
got-
to shit.
No, it got across. Okay, that robot that just referenced, if you're not familiar with it, was actually a social experiment that started in Canada.
Of course it did.
They wanted to see how far this robot could get before it was either damaged, destroyed, or lost for good.
So there was a little bit of planned obsolescence in the whole
Yeah,
process.
no, they knew that this was going to happen. The
Fun
thing
fact,
that
it made it all the way across Canada.
Yeah.
How far did it make in the United States, Rose?
Not even
30 miles.
miles.
Yeah, 30 miles. Yeah, before someone just saw that robot and beat the shit out of it. Yeah. I'm
hate
telling
it
you
here.
right now, some doll hitchhiking on the side of the road would immediately be torn to bits or sold or, uses kindling for a fire. Yeah, that shit ain't making it, okay?
Yeah,
God
no,
damn it,
that
America.
poor thing though got from West Coast, East Coast to West Coast in Canada, end to end of Canada,
Mm-hmm.
but didn't make it 30 miles in the U.S.
No,
Did they-
it didn't get far at all.
Do you know which part of the U.S.? I know it's got to be
Oh, God.
northern
No,
border.
I don't.
I don't specifically. I don't.
I like to believe that robot made it to New York and then immediately was stripped for
Here's the
parts.
thing, it didn't start in New York, though. I don't
Right?
think.
No, it was like Canada.
Jess is just...
In the streets of Philadelphia.
Oh God! Of course it was Philadelphia.
Good job, Philly!
God damn it! You fucking one bridge having crash
Okay.
You had
Down
one
City.
job, Philadelphia! One job!
The Hitchbot met its demise after 2 weeks in the United States in Philadelphia. Yeah, there we go. That doll ain't making it far at all.
God damn it! Go birds, but whatever.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Philly! You had one job! One fucking job!
Yeah. But yeah, in Annabelle creation, just like something that I think was like a creative liberty, one of the things that they used to contain Annabelle was not a holy water soaked
Wooden box.
It was like a little dresser that was lined with pages of the Bible
Lord, of course.
until one stupid kid just opened it up and was like, "Ooh, a doll."
Well, yeah.
I kind
a
of like
kid.
that, though. Better than
See,
a
that
mom.
is a better opening to the Annabelle movie than the Annabelle movie.
Oh my God, yeah.
Okay, how did the Annabelle movie start?
So I tried to watch it the other day. Because Brody messaged me and it's like, yeah, I just watched Annabelle Creation. I'm like, great, I'm going to watch it too. And I couldn't. So
How did Annabelle... Okay, what was the movie?
Brody's going to have to take the helm on this one.
Annabelle, I believe, is just them. Well, I know it's a lot about the woman, and she just had the baby, and then like everyone's just like, "Oh, well, here's
There's a child involved?
there's not even a child, like a little less than one goo goo gaga baby."
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
who
like
is
it's
the victim of all this. Like,
Oh,
like
that's depressing. That's more
Yeah.
depressing than having two, like, middle-aged chick... Or mid... You know what I mean. Mid-20s.
I'm like a little offended by
Nurses.
that, but we'll
Nurses.
continue.
No, I'm sorry, yes. It's better than having two nurses be terrorized by this fucking Raggedy Ann doll.
yeah.
Having a
By
child-
terror, also, can I just say that, like, by terrorized, we mean, like, would sometimes write them notes and move things around.
Right?
No, that's her shtick. That's,
Yeah, like, terrorizing is one thing. Like, the note writing, I gotta tell you, if I had a doll leaving me passive-aggressive roommate notes, I would
Oh, yeah.
lose my shit. But
That's one thing
a
I
doll
forgot.
randomly moving around the house, I doubt I would even notice,
within the
or at least for a
movies,
while.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
like what
would.
I've seen is
I
like
would
she
not.
mostly just wants the kids because like she's not exactly possessed. She's more like the conduit. She wants to find like new vessels for all of her demon friends.
Good lord.
Okay, so I did know that about the Annabelle movies, that, like... Okay, so I do have this to say, that, like... So it's not really, like, it's other demons. Like, the doll doesn't really do stuff. In fact, the doll doesn't really do anything.
That's how it's
That's
depicted.
disappointing.
In the movies, that's how, yeah, that's what's going on.
That's so
it's like,
disappointing.
it's like a demon.
But it
The
kind
doll's
of
not even... The doll's not even possessed. It's like trying to get other people possessed.
Yeah, this ain't like a child's play movie.
No, it's like
where you're gonna get what you want from it.
It kind of matches up with like what
Sucks.
the Ed and Lorraine believed between like there being like gateways between our world and spirit world.
Yeah,
Oh,
but they
yeah.
needed to have a scene of a little demon marionetting an Annabelle where it flashes between the demon marionetting the doll and then to what everyone else is seeing, which is a little doll running down a hallway with a
prefer
knife.
The actual case in that.
No,
point.
what I just described would be amazing, okay?
At least the doll's
I should
still
make these
possessed.
Yeah,
No,
I
in
should
that
make
case,
movies.
Just in that case, the doll's still fucking possessed. If you're pulling the strings of a marionette, are you not the one in control?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying.
Like, that's-
But in the movie, the doll has very little to do with it. Like it's not
That's
them
so
marionetting a
disappointing.
doll.
The doll is like a
That's
Ouija
disappointing.
board.
Yeah, 100%.
Then put on your fucking Ouija. Make it Ouija.
They did make a Ouija
But that's
movie.
not exactly scary
Make
enough.
it Ouija then.
No,
Don't-
you're
don't
right
call
though. It's
it-
not.
It's
don't
got to be
call
like
it
a.
Annabelle.
It's got to be
and-
like a disheveled Victorian thing to really get the spooks going.
Okay, that's fine. I don't mind that.
Well, I think like overall,
I'm just very disappointed in the fact that the whole thing is Annabelle and the case of the Annabelle doll, but the doll has nothing to do with it. That's so disappointing to me.
well, I mean, the doll's there. It has something to do
Yeah,
with it. But the
but
main spooks in the
Yeah,
movie
but
are
if
not
you
from the
take
doll.
out though and replace it with a Ouija board.
It's just
that's
another
not special.
James Wan movie.
It's just that's not special.
You
though.
replace it with Plank from Ed, Ed and Eddie.
But also, side note, even though I have not sat through all of Annabelle Creation is not directed by James Wan. It's actually
It is
directed
not.
about that guy that did Lights Out.
Yeah, and he he's really just a guy who got a really big break and didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, no, I mean the short, I've seen it, is really good.
Yeah.
It's a really creepy short film that's
And I don't
super
wanna,
well done.
I don't want to sound like I'm shitting on the guy. Even
No,
though
no,
I
no,
don't
no,
really
'cause,
know his name. It's just eluding me. I'm sorry if. he's
Lights
listening.
Out. You've seen Lights Out, right?
I've seen the trailer for Lights Out.
Okay,
High.
I've seen Lights Out. It's fucking garbage.
Aw.
It's so bad.
But here's
It's
the
so
thing.
bad. Well, because they take a really great spooky idea, like
It's basically
Like-
riffing off of Doctor Who, though.
Oh yeah, with the angels.
Yeah, the Weeping Angels. David Tennant's Weeping Angels, though, if you blink, they move. If you stop watching them, they will move.
not super similar to this ghost because it moves in darkness. I believe that's what
But
it is.
you can't see it, though, right?
Well,
That's the
you
point.
can
You can see shadows.
you can see
like the
shadows of it, the
silhouettes.
silhouette of it.
That's
And
interesting.
the idea of it is super interesting. The concept is horrifying. The problem comes with
Seeing
you when you have
shadows
to
in the darkness?
when you have to create a narrative around this story and they make it like, oh, it's like some girl that had a disease and we didn't cure. We have to like make her feel better.
Oh yeah, because the best friend of the grandmother had like the light allergy and she had to live in the basement or something.
Yeah, some shit like that. Like it doesn't even matter because it's all stupid. But
That's
that's
sort
what
of-
they do to every fun concept is they have to put a bow on it and make it palatable and
I
easy
will-
to consume for the masses.
Brody's giving me a look. I will say that Doctor Who didn't do that with the Weeping Angels.
No.
They're just like, oh, it's just an alien that does this. It will kill you if you blink. So
Yeah,
don't blink.
and that's fine.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's a fine explanation for stuff. Like that's fine.
Well, that's like
Getting
my
off
whole like.
That's
that-
a whole other thing.
That's my whole other thing, and I'm just like trying to think of like what's like the good sweet spot between that versus like that. Let's keep the whole lore a mystery, or let's over-explain the lore so that's not
it's
scary.
not-
There is a very sweet spot of exposition.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we're not talking about superhero stuff again for a while, but I gotta tell you, like, most recently, the new Suicide Squad. Perfect amount of exposition for everything. You're introducing how many new characters? I gotta tell you, James Gunn got it down.
James Gunn, I gotta give him props. I don't know if I gave him props.
I'm trying to think horror movie. Horror movie, you wanna know what? I don't need that much exposition. I'll figure it out as we go along.
Oh, FNAF.
yeah.
Five Nights at Freddy's did it. Five Nights at Freddy's is like
Well, like a video game
the first
exposition, though, and like...
the first one. No, I have to give you the first one because if you look in the backgrounds, you can actually see.
What you was gonna say is video
posters.
game exposition is a lot different than movie exposition.
but
And I
that's the
prefer
point.
video game exposition.
100%.
Yeah, like, how
Like
do you
you
do
can
it?
find as much as you're willing as you want to.
Yeah, like, but the point is though, like, give it in the background, make it a throwaway line that actually leads somewhere though.
Yeah.
My favorite is
don't
oh,
over-explain it. Don't.
I need to
under-explain
I
it.
picked up a crumpled piece of paper and learned something new.
Yeah, really. Like,
Best
don't-
video game exposition. Because guess what? If you're just flying through it, you're not going to find that piece of paper. You don't care. If you're taking your time and you want to learn, you're going to find those little tidbits. You're going to learn it.
Sometimes it's like if you don't find the piece of paper, you're fucked because you don't know what the rest of the storyline is.
I mean, like it all varies between like
Maybe in like
some
BioShock or something.
BioShock is a good example of that. where
Yeah,
it's
like the sound boxes of this that you find, I think are really because
Yeah,
you
but
can
if
play
you
them
miss
while you're
one-
walking around and still playing the game, and then I gotta say that's the best part. It's the
Yeah.
same as finding a crumpled up note
Oh my God,
in
I love
Skyrim.
BioShock. We love
Yeah,
it.
we love BioShock here.
Or like you were saying about Five Nights at Freddy's, where it's like they just leave
It's
you a
in the
voicemail.
background though. Like you have to look for it to find it, because if you're not looking, then you won't find it. But that's my point though. Like video games, yes, as Brody mentioned and Jess was talking about, it's very different than movie.
It's a totally different medium entirely.
But
Like, it really is.
If you're talking about like the perfect balance between not quite over explaining it, but not under explaining it to the point that nobody knows what the hell is going on anymore.
Well, I also enjoy movies where I have to watch it a few times to fully understand the story or what's going on. I enjoy that a lot. I don't like being spoon-fed everything. I
You
don't.
like Inception.
No, not
Inception's
necessarily, because I got Inception the first time I watched it. It's just actually the more you watch it, the less it makes sense.
Can I tell you a funny story of the first time I watched Inception?
Yeah.
I was at home, it was me and my dad, and we watched the first half, which was all them explaining the dream stuff.
Yeah.
And then my brother walked in right when they do like the big heist thing. So we all know everything and he knows nothing. And that it's just like one of those experiences where it's like you are making this worse by asking so many goddamn questions.
Yeah, but bless him, he has to, because like shit, you're coming at that point. I want to have a good time too.
You have to bring me down with
Pause the movie and explain to him what's going on.
That's what I should have done, but it was on TV.
No, I'm thinking more of like, I think Hereditary. We were talking about it earlier. I don't know if it was on stream or off. We were talking about Hereditary earlier, and like, it's a movie where like the general plot is very easy to consume, but there's like more aspects to it. Like even just like the little glowing light throughout the movie that you realize is Payman's like spirit or essence or whatever you want to call him.
Yeah.
Like throughout the movie, or like the clicking noise. Like, you know, there's little things you can pick up on, and even more with the history of the family that maybe if you glazed over during your first watch.
It's the idea that
the mother-daughter dynamics.
If you just want the spooks, you'll get the spooks. But if you really want to like pay attention and like put
and
things
I
together
appreciate
in your
that
brain.
in movie. I don't need everything to be totally understood, but I think that I'm just connecting. I think what we're all saying is like, some movies don't really have that much to them. There isn't a lot of depth, and it doesn't need to have depth, and it doesn't need to pretend it does. Yeah, exactly.
But going back to Annabelle, when I watched Annabelle Creation, I realized it was all very ambiguous, and then they had one scene where it's just like, okay, here's everything that happened. Our daughter died, truck hit her because she was being a dummy.
Cars, man.
Cars.
Going back to cars, they're the worst.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. I am very much afraid of automobile accidents.
Yeah, you should be.
Of course,
we all should.
Everyone should be.
Yeah, if you're driving it, if you're listening to this and driving, because I know a lot of people listen to podcasts and driving, please, I swear to God,
Drive safely.
drive safely.
And don't drive drunk.
Do not drive drunk. Wear his fucking seatbelt. I totally lost where I was going.
You were talking about Annabelle Creation.
Oh, right.
The car.
Yeah, and then there's just like that one scene like near the end where like the lady's just like, oh yeah, here's everything that happened, and it just kind of like ruins things because it's like, okay,
Give
so
it to us at the end. Either
Yeah.
let the audience figure it out, or just leave it hanging.
they could have just left it hanging and it would have been better.
Because like Annabelle, you already have the exposition in Annabelle, right?
Yeah, you don't need much
Yeah,
more
Haunted
than.
Doll. There we go.
Haunted doll. There you go.
And that's what most people who watch this movie
So-
kind of.
That's what people want.
Conjuring 2, though, yes, it is based off of a Warren case that I'm not very familiar with. But
I'm
it
not
takes
either,
place
but I
in
gotta
London.
tell you, Conjuring 2, my favorite Conjuring.
But like,
I think it's great.
Though, Annabelle takes place in the
For what it
in
is.
the U.S.
Don't get me
right?
wrong.
In the U.S.
The
yes.
first one, yeah.
Yeah,
It's a New
Annabelle
England area.
in New
And-
England, and so does The Conjuring.
The
Right.
third one?
The first one and the third one
The third one, yeah.
takes place.
The
in
third one
US.
really sucks.
But then it's like randomly, James Wan, right? It is James Wan. who
Yeah.
does. James Wan's like, oh yes, let's go to England for this one. Like, that's always confused me.
No, it makes sense with the story because it's once again
It's a haunted house in London.
Yeah, it's a haunted house in London, but it's like it's horribly fucking haunted. And there's actually a few great scenes in this movie in particular, but one I specifically enjoy is the older gentleman like sitting in the corner in his old leather couch, like being illuminated by low lights. I'm pretty sure he's like puffing a pipe. Truly,
Of course.
Yeah,
'cause
truly
that's
chilling.
What you do in London.
That's what I would do if I was a ghost.
yeah.
Just puffing a
Just
pipe.
chill.
Yeah, there is a lot of good scares in the second one. Child acting, not annoying.
That's good.
Yeah, the child acting is actually really
But
decent.
that's something
It's
that's
still a James Wan Conjuring movie, like full disclosure, but I really enjoyed it. Yeah,
That's
the
what
second one's great.
confused me, though. Like, yes, I understand James Wan is continuing with the Warren theme. Like, oh yes, we did Annabelle, we did the Conjuring one. Like, why pick
I think we're
London,
wrapped after
though?
this third one.
Like, why?
Well, they maybe picked it because it was actually based off a case. We didn't research it.
Yeah.
Like, why London? There was probably a haunting there.
I don't know. Sorry, guys.
But no, why that?
We're human.
One thing, though, I would like to ask James Wan is why these cases, though? Like, why Annabelle? And why the Parent House? Right? Why those two?
Because the Amityville horror has been done to shit already.
Like,
It's been done a
obviously.
lot, yeah. So you're not going to do Amityville horror. Like, why those? Because they're the most popular.
Like, nobody really knew who the Warren...
I don't know. I mean, I feel
Would we be
so.
talking, so without...
I feel like for our generation, it's a new thing, but my dad, like, I grew up with my dad talking to me about the Amityville Horror. It wasn't really necessary about Ed and Lorraine Warren, but I've seen the one from, like, the 70s, and of course, I've seen the Ryan Reynolds remake.
Okay, so Amityville Horror, basically, you need to know about that one is it's a possessed woman.
No, it's a man, and he
It's
kills
a
his
man.
family with an axe.
Yeah, pretty much.
We can, you know,
always
is
an
it,
axe.
is it, yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's an axe murdering. Yeah, man, it's, you know, oh, the ghost made me do it. I hacked my whole family to death with a fucking axe. That's the Amityville Horror right there.
Yeah.
Is it mental illness or was he actually possessed by demons? Pretty sure it's mental illness.
A
A lot of this, I'm pretty sure, is mental illness.
a lot of this, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Like,
Shit won't diagnose that well back then.
Like I've heard something where it's like a lot of people really like go back on these cases and find that like
It
a
was
haunt,
mental illness.
very much either like mental illness or like some noise in like the house that people thought was haunting.
Yeah, or maybe even like a gas leak, which I know has happened to people. Like even today, it still happens where they feel like they're going crazy, and it's like, oh, you have a gas leak in your house.
And
Yeah.
so you're inhaling...
Same with possessions over our history with, you know, the Catholic Church would do exorcisms on. It was a lot of just undiagnosed mental illness.
Yeah,
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of rational explanations for what people believe were
Except
these
for the
hauntings.
people who died dancing in France.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's
What?
true. Oh, you don't know about this?
Lord!
No, please
that's-
indulge me.
No,
It is
that's-
spooky enough to discuss right now.
Spook it up.
Rose,
So
let them know.
basically, This is medieval France, and we don't really know what happens.
No, we
Nobody-
don't. But why don't
nobody
you just
really
tell
did.
them like the gist of what occurred?
Give me the
Basically, this one person just randomly starts dancing one day. And,
Okay.
and take note that this is around the time of the Black Plague, just about.
What kind of dancing do you guys think it was, though? Also?
I want to say
Probably
the
like
hustle.
the hustle. Yeah,
Yeah, he's doing
the
the
cha-cha
hustle.
slide
Yeah.
in the town square.
This also, keep in mind that this is Christian France, where they still have enough of an awareness of other pagan gods, or just kind of like adopting saints or people who specifically for different things. So like insanity. They have a,
it's like monotheism,
monotheism.
but it's not. But it is.
yeah, it's
Okay.
because they have like a saint of insanity or whatever. And this
It's like
lady,
Catholicism.
this lady starts randomly dancing in the streets one day, and they're like, "Oh, okay, this person doesn't dance, but whatever. She's just dancing." And she dances. She keeps dancing until she dies. Literally just drops dead, and people are like, "Well, oh,
Like, so
shit."
she's not eating or sleeping or
No,
using the restroom.
she's
She was
not.
probably using the restroom. That would be involuntary. But
But she's literally dancing to the point where she just passes out dead, and everyone's like, "Oh shit, she danced till she died."
Good
and
for
then
her.
It happens again until like two other
Another woman
people.
danced until she died.
Yeah. And then it's like this whole town, and people are like, "Oh my god, they must have pissed off our saint of insanity, or like some god, or something." But these, like, what, 50 people? Somewhere around there?
it was a handful.
Yeah, it was a lot of people who died dancing. We'll do a whole case of it
Yeah,
It's just
if you guys are
insane.
interested, we can discuss it further.
in detail.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's just the case of people dancing till they die.
I'm just thinking about like how nowadays on TikTok we have dance challenges.
We
It's
could
a
start
dance till
one.
you die challenge.
Oh yeah,
Now watch
Like
me
you
whip.
say that, but
once you die.
Yeah. I actually like that. I do like. I know it's not super related to the Warrens, but I do want to talk about Insidious a little bit. Like
Okay.
if we're gonna touch on James
Insidious.
Wan,
And the nun.
I don't like the Nun. Insidious, the Nun sucks. Okay, it's a scary looking figure of a character that they created. Very much the bride from Insidious, which is better.
So this is not. Was that also a James Wan thing? The Nun.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't
Okay.
know if he directly did it, but it's based off characters from his movies, from the Conjuring movies.
Right.
It's like in the Conjuring
There's a whole universe. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's based
whole
in the
universe.
Conjuring universe. So you have the Conjuring 1, 2, 3, Annabelle, the Nun,
Annabelle Creation,
Annabelle
the Nun.
Creation,
Do you think they're
and
gonna
like
make
two. There are two other movies that are supposedly loosely tied to the Conjuring universe.
It's not
weird.
Insidious.
Do you think
It's
they're
not
gonna?
Insidious.
Do you think they're gonna make like an Avengers style film with all
People
of
have
them?
been saying that a
Oh,
lot.
I would be down
online.
for that. Yeah,
Oh,
I would be so
no.
down. I would be
Why
so
not?
down.
The nun would be Captain America. Annabelle would be Tony Stark.
We have to haunt these houses. Okay, so in particular, this is the movie that actually got me into James Wan as a director, creator in general.
Right.
And I can't speak. I don't know if there's a third one, but I do not like the second Insidious, but specifically the first Insidious. I love that movie. Okay, so the first movie, it's Rose Byrne and Patrick Wilson. It's like, it's a twist on the haunted house movie where like, oh, your house isn't haunted, your child is haunted.
That's the only thing I remember
Dun,
from
dun, dun. Yeah, the
Wait,
little...
How does a child be haunted by the house?
Oh, okay, so the kid...
Wouldn't that make any house that child lives in haunted?
So, Patrick Wilson's character, the dad in the movie, is a gifted astral projector and was as a child. A very demonic ghost, the bride, attaches herself to him as a child, and he has to go to like, was it like hypno? Anyways, astral projection.
Yeah, Rose and I just looked at each other like, what the fuck is
Oh,
this?
astral projecting. It's like
Oh, is that the thing that they do?
like when you dream and you project yourself into other parts of the world and universe.
Stranger Things.
Yeah, it's a lot like Stranger Things.
Okay,
Yeah.
We know what it
Astral
is.
projection.
Okay.
It's apparently a real thing. I don't know.
Go get
So
yourself-
this really demonic demon, the bride, attaches herself to Patrick Wilson's character, the father. And like, I guess he just like stops having pictures taken from him because there's a really great scene in the movie where like they like, oh, your son's going through the same thing that you did as a child. Here's all these pictures of you. And it's like the bride getting slowly closer and closer to him in photos as he ages. It's a cool little scene. Big fan of it. Anyway, so dad totally forgets about his childhood history of being haunted by the bride and the fact that he can astral project it all. Yeah.
Mood.
Right. So little kid astral projects. All of this is also laid out really well in all of the drawings he hangs on his wall. Had the
Right.
parents bothered to look at them, it's like all of a sudden
Why is there always an absent-minded parent? Oh, that's
exposition,
really
man.
That's really pretty artwork, honey. It's a kid being
like,
mauled
wow.
by a demon. Or
Yeah,
some
there's
shit.
demons and you flying in outer space and
And
shit.
he's like, well, I mean, like, it's scary as hell, but the perspective is nice.
Yeah, like you did a really good job.
Wonderful artist, honey. Brilliant.
We'll put this
it
on the fridge next to your dad's drawings.
Honestly, I think my mom would have been very proud of me if I did those, like, very childish but, like, scary drawings. Like,
my son's so creative.
Yeah. She won't. Yeah.
Okay, so anyways, this kid can astral project. He's been traveling to a place called the Further, which is like, I mean, it's pretty much hell. I mean, it's not, but it is. It's where you go when you die. It's where spirits go.
Okay.
This kid goes there. When you astral project, you leave your body as an open vessel to be possessed by a ghost and eventually taken over. But
So
it
you're,
takes
like,
time and
hollow.
energy. Yeah, so he leaves his body and at one point in the movie and just is unable to come back because he's being held captive by a demon. So his empty vessel body in the house is nothing but a magnet for all these spirits to just come, it's like mice
like a
to
sign.
peanut butter. Yeah, it's just everybody's coming. And that's the fucking movie. It's really good. The ghost hunting sequences in the movie are really great. There's these two tech geeks and this really great, like, old sage, like, medium that comes in to help out. I can't remember her name. She's in all the Insidious movies, though. And the ghost hunting equipment that they use is all, like, handmade. It's got, like, 80s tech look to it. Like, it's really cool.
You go ghost hunting.
Yeah, I would love to go
Oh,
ghost
dude,
hunting.
I would be the biggest buffoon while we go ghost
But-
hunting.
As long as it's not.
What ultimately sets Insidious apart from many other major motion pictures of its kind is that it is not a CGI horror movie.
That's
yes,
good.
there are jump scares, but all of the effects are practical. All of the ghosts are on set with the actors, which is not something that you can say about a lot of other horror
That's
movies.
hard to do, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, have a ghost on set and not react.
No, the Japanese have been doing it forever.
Yeah,
Oh
I mean,
my
the
God,
Japanese
yes.
Yeah, we
great.
need to Ju-on, yeah.
They're on a whole other level.
If
Yeah,
you
100%.
If you watch any version of The Ring, watch the original version. Watch the original Japanese version of The Ring.
So you like Japanese horror, but it's not American horror.
No, see, I can't stand The Ring, but I love the cultural context. No, the cultural the why is the hair wet though? Do you know why?
Grossness.
Because it looks
No.
creepy.
It looks creepy, but it's actually a thing in Japan. Like, women with wet hair covering their faces is actually a legitimate thing in Japan. Like,
For what?
It's just a part of their culture. I don't really remember. I looked into this years and years ago. I haven't brushed up on it at all. But I do remember it was like a point of discomfort for them at that time.
It is. You don't want to know what though? It is annoying. Like especially if you have
The
long
wet
hair,
hair?
which I have quite long hair. It is
Yeah.
annoying.
Anyone
But, like,
else
this-
get like that like reaction where it's like you see someone with like really wet hair and your eyes start watering?
No,
No?
but I feel like you might not be the only one.
Yeah,
Let us know,
Okay.
guys.
You're probably not the only one. But no, like,
Okay, I'm a freak.
Japanese horror, though, has a completely different take and different twist than American horror. In America, which just kind of...
Societal norms all the way around and
Oh, yeah. Horror is a...
cultural norms.
Horror is a brilliant... If you ever want to know what kind of phase that a country was going through, look at their horror films.
Just so if you want to get into the James Wan movies at all, you've all probably seen them. But actually, I guess a lot of you haven't.
Yeah,
you gotta
like
get
me. I haven't watched any of them. I'm
You gotta-
learning some new shit.
Insidious, man. Like if you see any of them, just do yourself a flavor and see Insidious because it's fantastic. Like it's super well done. The sound design is bomb, super jarring. Lots of I feel like they used, and I know it's done a lot now, but it was first done in this movie, you know, like the off jarring like piano keys because the main character she composes piano music for a living.
You know, that kind of transitions into my big tip for people like Rose who want to watch horror movies but physically can't.
I can't. I will read
Bunch of theater
a horror,
nerds, guys.
I will read a horror book. I will play a horror game.
And
I
this
just
also
can't
goes-
watch horror.
Yeah.
You might play a horror game. Come on, let's.
And
I
this-
need a friend, okay? Bioshock
Y'all have played some
1 scared the
Phasmophobia,
hell
I
out
know
of
that.
me.
But anyways, good horror movies, and this goes out to any filmmakers who want to make a horror movie. The name of the game is sound design.
Yeah,
Sound
absolutely.
is great.
Sound affects you on such a deeper level in terms of horror than any visual element will ever do.
Yes.
So, if you want to watch a horror movie, low volume is a must.
Yes.
Also, every jump scare kind of follows like the same beat and
Always
rhythm.
expect it.
If-
If you're a video game player, just wait for the music to drop. Then you know the baddie's coming.
Yeah, no, I'll edit a jump scare in right here. It's all it's
Give
all
us a jump scare.
it's
Brody.
all about just like having that audio and having it slowly fade out until it's just very, and then something just spooky just
I
pops
do want to
out.
bring this up to you, and I feel like this started with.
I
your-
apologize if there's anyone driving who just freaked the fuck out.
I do want to bring this up to you because you do have a background in filmmaking and editing and all that good stuff. How do you feel about like the sound mixing in horror movies from the mid 2000s to now? Because you know exactly what I'm talking about. I feel like the bleed-ins, like where like they won't even. It's not sometimes not even clever sound design. It's like, oh,
It's
we're
like
just gonna
Resident
do. No, we're just gonna do. I'm thinking specifically of The Ring, where like
Yeah.
it'll transition into a scene and like you hear the foghorn from the next scene. And I feel like that's become like a really huge trend in horror movies.
Well,
now.
sometimes it feels like cheating.
Well, that's what I was just. Yeah.
It's a sound bridge.
Like-
I like that though. I like sound bridges. Sound bridges are really freaking cool.
Or even just like watch the first 10 minutes of a horror movie that'll have a jump scare on it, and it'll always be sort of like the most innocent of things, like someone coming up to their mom and saying hi, but they'll still
Hi,
use
Mom.
but they'll still use the same like slow it down, make it quiet, and then jump in, and it'll still have the same effect.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
it just shows you that you could literally make anything, and you're just choosing
Scary.
to make it like something that is what people think is spooky. But really, it's all just the sound design, and you're just playing another role and filling in the parts that are
But
interchangeable.
also, and I feel like this is like more so the case, and we can say action horror and horror because sound design, we can talk about like the Halloween movies or Friday the 13th or even like Terminator 2.
I gotta say, Resident
We want to
Evil.
say I know that they're the soundtracks, but they're more than that at that point.
Yeah.
The first.
They really are.
first-
They captivate everybody.
And the best job in Hollywood is
A Foley artist.
Oh my god! Yes, you knew exactly where I was going.
I did,
with
yeah,
that.
Foley artist.
Like
yeah,
someone gives
absolutely.
you a to-do list of like, okay, I need a good bone crushing noise,
Yeah,
and someone's just like, all right, give me a bunch of sticks.
yeah. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I got you, fam.
I gotta say, the first Resident Evil movie does that too.
And I just
It
gotta
does.
say, I'm a complete baby to the whole Resident Evil
The-
franchise.
Honey, don't worry about it. Yes, I just called him honey. Shut up, internet. Yes,
Call everybody, honey.
It's because I'm
I
sweet.
do. I do. He's sweet like honey. Sometimes.
Oh.
But no, the first Resident Evil also does that whole music cue. And I feel like that's the video game aspect of it. It's spooky season, so of course I have to talk about Resident Evil, especially with Welcome to Raccoon City, I think it's the new name.
The movie they're doing right now.
Yeah.
I'm in a group on Facebook. I've been seeing casting updates. I don't remember.
But, you know, it's a whole thing and a half. We'll talk about it later, but the first Resident Evil film, it does do those audio cues.
Well, a lot of horror movies do. And we actually talked about Inception earlier, which started the loud, like
The bwong.
wah,
And that kind
wah.
of became like the
It's-
stereotypical like
Well-
Hans Zimmer epic score kind of.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, it fucking works though.
It really is epic.
No, it really is. That's a Christopher Nolan thing, though. I kind of don't like it in any other movie that isn't Christopher Nolan. But holy shit, does it
Christopher
work so
Nolan
well in
adds
Inception?
so much like fantasy to all the action that he does.
That's
Like,
why I like his movies.
yeah, I haven't seen Tenet, but like
I tried.
You
to do it.
tried?
I tried. It's really convoluted and messy.
well, yeah, but that's Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, but it's Look, I love Inception. I fucking love Interstellar. I love Interstellar. I'll take all the heat. I'll play devil's advocate with you all day about it. I get the criticism. I love Interstellar. I love
It
it.
was a very interesting film. I did see Interstellar.
Any movie that is ultimately about the love
Like
and
the
a relationship
flame.
between a father and a daughter is always going to be a good movie for me.
Right.
But well, the sound design for that movie was also really
Beautiful.
It was interesting.
good. Oh my god,
It was very
we'll have to do a
interesting.
Christopher Nolan day because I can go on.
Yeah, we'll do it on
Well,
Christmas.
we're
yeah. Christopher Nolan Christmas.
yes, we should. I'm down for this.
No.
Are you kidding me? I would love to spend 6 hours with you people watching Interstellar and Inception. That would be amazing.
Yeet.
Hold on, time out. 6 hours?
About it, that's how long it would take to
two
watch
movies.
them. Yeah.
Good God.
The better part of an afternoon.
Yeah. Okay, so I watched you in one day. So let's
Yeah.
Alright. So,
wait. Where were we on
I don't even know.
No, hold on. No, I have one. So, like.
because we have to talk about Malignant before we finish up today.
Oh, right.
Inception and everything, though. How do you guys feel about. Like, going back to the audio cues, though, what about the Conjuring, the third Conjuring?
The Devil Made Me Do It?
Yeah.
So I did watch it. I was sober. I don't remember much about it. It was honestly super forgettable. It's not good at all. It's like honestly painful to get through. There were a few good the first act was okay from what I remember.
Right.
Just how I break things down in my brain. I mean,
act?
yeah.
I've never seen it. This is why I'm asking.
Oh, the first act is fine. That's up until we get we're just starting to get to the rising action.
Yeah.
And we ain't fully there yet. So I enjoyed certain parts of the beginning of the movie. I don't know, man. It's a schlocky mess of it's another let's fucking just give everybody what they want to see, man. I just don't like it.
I've never seen it, so just
Don't watch it.
Can you explain the plot at least?
No.
I didn't.
No, I can't.
Because you physically can, or do you refuse to?
I physically can't. I cannot remember. And I refuse to rewatch it for this podcast.
Oh Lord.
The second one's really good, and I only saw it once, and I can tell you specific scenes I enjoyed from it. That's how my brain works, guys. Look, the third one sucks. If they put it back on HBO like a couple days ago, Like, watch it and make up your own mind about it. I think it's really bad. Watch the second Conjuring. I think that's on Netflix right now.
But that's not the most current one.
The third one is the most current one. That
The third
came
one
out
is the
this
most
year.
current one. So where does Malignant lie into all this?
It doesn't, but we should definitely talk about it.
Malignant and the Nun.
Have you seen The Nun?
I have not seen The Nun.
Yeah, cool, because I tried to watch it and pieced out after 20 minutes.
Word. I just want
Love
to tie
her.
it back to Malignant. You made us watch like a little overview and
Overview of it.
some short scenes.
Yes, Malignant.
And my impression was this looked like it would have been something really good if it was 40 years ago in a Cronenberg-y kind of horror.
Okay, so I've seen
Or
Malignant
budget.
twice. The first time I watched it, I was incredibly drunk. Which, if you do drink, not that you have to, but if you do, that's a really
Malignant.
great mental
Malignant.
state to be in for this movie. It's
Be drunk for Malignant, apparently.
it's ridiculous.
Malignant. Don't be sober.
Yeah, no, I mean 100%. The movie is just absolutely insanely stupid. Mm-hmm. But it's also like hilarious at the same time. What I can't decide, and the jury is out on it, is like, is it meant to be as ridiculous and funny as it is, or is it supposed to be taken seriously? Because I know how I feel about it.
Right.
But I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about it.
Because you showed me a woman who chops off a cop's arm and then beats another cop with it.
Yeah, which on paper sounds fucking amazing, right?
Yeah, that's like some Blade shit.
Yeah, it sounds like that would be like, oh, that movie sounds fucking bomb. I want to watch it right now. So the whole shtick of this movie is, and spoilers, major spoilers, but also, side note, if doesn't matter if this movie is spoiled for you, you should still watch
Yeah,
it.
fuck you, spoiler alert.
Yeah, fuck you, spoilers. You need to watch this movie, though. It's absolutely ridiculous. If you're ever gonna drink a bottle of wine, do it while you're watching this movie.
It's like when you go to a carnival and it's like they must be this tall.
Yeah.
You must have consumed this much alcohol.
To have a good time.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do it sober.
It's for
too,
your safety.
But yeah, it is. It's for your mental health. So the movie, I'm going to try to surmise it in just a few sentences because we don't need to do a whole play-by-play breakdown of this.
We very much
damn
don't.
movie. No.
We don't even really
Nobody.
need to cover.
Oh, no, we do. This is one of the worst, funniest movies I have seen in a long
Wait,
time.
Worst as in it's just bad, or worse as in it's the Nun bad?
Technically, it is made very well.
Okay.
That's
So
not the issue.
Made very well as in cinematography.
I know,
is
like the
good,
worst,
or-
and I can't believe someone threw money at this and said, "Let's make this."
So
Oh.
this is a movie that's so bad it's good, in some cases.
It's not some, but
I
I think it's like it's
hold on.
ironic.
I'm gonna give you a scale. Is it the Nun bad or Sharknado bad?
Well, see, the
Ooh,
Nun.
that's a good scale.
The Nun is so bad it's not even watchable. It's almost Sharknado.
Okay,
It's Sharknado.
it's more Sharknado. Is it boring?
No,
Okay.
this movie is not
So
boring.
It's gonna notch up towards Sharknado.
This is a Sharknado level dumpster fire. That was so well made, but I
Starting
don't.
from today, everyone, you can call it the Rose scale of movies.
Yeah.
How bad is it? Is it Sharknado bad? So bad that it's good, or
To the
so
Nun.
bad that
I'm
it's
just-
bad like
I'm
the
just
Nun?
imagining like whenever you
Ouija.
see like something from a film festival.
Or did
have-
y'all see Bye Bye Man?
No, oh my god. But I'm
No,
just
the
thinking
Nun-
about like
the
how
Nun.
like the classic like film festival like leaves around it. It's like it's so. What did you say? It's Sharknado level bad.
yeah.
I just want that on the box.
No,
You want to know what though? If I saw a movie that said Sharknado bad, I would watch it.
Yeah.
'cause
Yeah.
Sharknado, the reason why I asked that question though is Sharknado is such like a bad film that it's good. Because it was so
That's
That-
definitely what
here's
they're
the-
purposely
so here's
doing.
the thing with
films are so bad,
Sharknado
or
and
it's
Malignant.
good.
Sharknado was never. They were like, yeah, we've got something here. Sharks in a tornado. Yeah, no, they
Which
knew.
does happen. It happened. It has happened historically. It happens in Brazil. This is why I'm never going to Brazil.
Rose, there are
Why
never
is it
that
Brazil?
many sharks in a damn tornado for it to be a natural
But it
disaster,
does.
okay?
No, it does. I'm never going to Brazil. Not because of sharks, because of spiders. Weather in Brazil, it picks up spiders from the Amazon rainforest, takes them literal miles literally miles halfway across the country, drops them in Brazil City. Or Brasilia?
Yeah, Brazil City, the capital of Brazil.
No, it's
Brazil land.
Brasilia, I think. It's like Rio de Janeiro, Brasilia, whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, if you're listening to this.
Sorry, Brazilians.
Sorry, Brazil.
But look, it just drops them. Literally drops them. And they're alive. They're live fucking spiders. Just like picked up from the
Well, they're
Amazon.
more scared of you than you are of them.
I don't care. They're 8-legged. They don't need 8 legs. I don't know why they have 8 legs. But
I
they
like
fucking
spiders.
don't.
They do
Sure.
work
devil
and kill
spawn.
mosquitoes.
They are devil spawn, Jess. We don't fucking need them.
Spiders are friends.
No, they are not. Anyways, but like my point is, Sharknado is so bad that it's good. The Nun is just bad.
Well, no. So here's what I'm saying: is that Sharknado is a very self-aware movie. They know what they're making. It is not. They're not trying to win an award. They're not trying to make.
But they should.
No, they shouldn't.
They get a participation trophy.
It's a very specific movie for having a few beers and laughing with your friends, which is awesome. More movies should be made like that.
Agreed.
People need to have a good time. Everything doesn't have to be like the best thing I've ever seen in my life. Did you have a good time or did you not? Did I have a good time when I watched *Malignant*? Absolutely. Okay, so the gist of the plot, and I'll run through this really quick. A woman that's had multiple miscarriages with a very abusive husband. He's abusive husband in a comical, like, Lifetime movie kind of shit.
Yeah, like a very...
How many more times are you gonna get pregnant and I can watch those babies die on you? Like that kind of shit.
Like the kind of things that someone that doesn't have a social filter would say.
Yeah, like a real piece of shit, you know? Mm-hmm. So she suffers a terrible brain injury. And also the movie does open up with an insane asylum with lots of flashing lights and strobe lights, red lights, lots of overacting. And you see this weird creature, whatever. This chick gets some bad head trauma. Also, main character has bangs, and also her sister has bangs. And I gotta tell you,
Her adopted sister.
her adopted sister.
Right.
And I gotta tell you, there are not that many friend groups of women where they all have bangs. And that was the first thing during my
bang
drunken
gang.
stupor that the first thing I said was all right, New Girl was pushing it, but there's no way that both of these sisters have fucking the same exact bangs. There's no way. There's absolutely no way 2 sisters would not copy the same exact haircut. That would never happen.
But in New Girl, they were best friends.
Yeah, well, in New Girl, that's New Girl.
So for *Malignant*, it's basically this child is born with Siamese twins or something.
So the main character girl suffers a really horrible brain injury. She also starts having these figments and these visions. Her husband ends up dead in her house. Blah 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 blah. Typical horror movie shit. Turns out she has a parasitic Siamese twin that was attached to her and has been living in the back of her head. And that head trauma reawoke the twin.
And this conjoined twin is the demon in her, or it makes her see things, or
Yeah, it can control her brain. They share the same brain. It's not really addressed that much, and I gotta tell you, not super important. What is important though?
Oh yeah, parasitic guy in the back of the head. Nah, don't worry about it.
Voldemort.
Well,
Voldemort.
the best part is they 100% is the Sorcerer's Stone. Absolutely,
Yep.
It's very Sorcerer's Stone. Everybody, what's that teacher's name?
I don't remember. It was the guy with the turban. It was...
Trolls in the dungeon.
No,
Just thought
he
you
didn't-
should know.
No. That was that was Mrs. Norris's. Oh no, you are right. You did do it.
The teacher with the
It's the guy with the turban who
Yeah, but
was
what's his
only in that one
name?
movie and then
Whatever.
dies.
Fuck J.K. Rowling. Really.
Like her. We like her content. Just fuck her as a human.
Yes.
Anyways, parasitic twin in the back of the head. It's absolutely ridiculous. Obviously, there's lots of red herrings throughout the movie for them trying for you not to figure out that the bad guy that's killing all these people is actually her parasitic twin in the back of her head. They don't sell it well, but it's hilarious. The whole movie the third act is phenomenal because there are Matrix style fight scenes with the main character, fighting backwards
Oh my god.
as her parasitic twin, as like the conductor of her body. So she's walking backwards and like fighting all these cops and fighting all these hookers.
Oh, yeah,
It's truly fantastic.
Hookers?
Yeah, straight up hookers. Yeah, she ends up in jail for some reason. It's amazing. It's absolutely
It already
amazing.
sounds amazing.
But as far as like a movie goes, it's horrible.
But good horrible.
Oh no, this is good horrible.
I'm getting some very mixed messages on like whether or not you like this.
No.
Jeff loves it.
I like it because it's funny,
This is
but
why
I
we have
don't.
to scale it.
But it is sure as shit not a scary movie at all. This is a comedy through and through.
So Rose
it's
would
like,
like it.
It's like, did you think Tucker and Dale vs. Evil was scary?
All the verse evils to me are just more like bro-y, like cheer 'em on kind of deals.
Verse evil.
You've never seen Tucker and Dale vs. Evil?
Have you seen Ash vs. Evil?
Yeah.
You would actually like it.
Rose is, just to let you guys know, I'm shaking my head no. I've never seen any of these films. Again, I don't delve too much into horror, so...
She's not a spook fanatic.
I love Scooby-Doo. That's the level of
But
horror.
this movie
Anything
was
scarier than
billed
Scooby-Doo.
and sold as a overt horror movie. What I want to get at is, and I could spend all day and trying to remember at this point specificities about the movie, but it's not. It was sold as a overt horror movie, which it is absolutely not. It is a horror comedy through and through. I would love to meet the person, please, if you're one of them, that actually saw this and was scared throughout the whole thing. I'd just like to have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
I really would. I just want you to tell me how you felt about it and what your favorite part, like how you felt about it.
And you know where they can send that message?
Where?
There.
They can email us at oneframeoff@gmail.com. That's oneframeoff@gmail.com.
I'm honestly curious. If you were actually scared by that movie, please shoot us an email. I would love to have
Or
a
put it in the
conversation with you.
Or put it in the comments.
Yeah, put it in the
Comments.
comments. I would love to have a
Make a
conversation
comic.
with you.
And put it in the comments.
Put
with
ma-
your...
Yeah. Comic in the
Because,
comments.
Yep.
Do we all have any like good horror film recommendations? for
Oh
this?
yeah,
Blair Witch
what are we
Project.
watching for Halloween?
The
What are we
Blair
watching
Witch
for Halloween?
Project. The Blair Witch... I cannot say this enough.
I don't think that's a good movie.
It may not be a good movie from like a narrative standpoint because there's a lot of fucking plot holes and FYI the cameraman.
Because there isn't a narrative.
No, the cameraman and his buddy.
I think
fucking
what they
killed the
did
girl.
with what they had
But
was nice,
It
but
is, like I said earlier at the very beginning, I only watched like landmark films that changed the industry. Blair Witch Project fucking blew the industry out of the water by creating a
well, it was
false-
viral, yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
viral. And they
It was a
created
viral
false
campaign.
documentary. Like the families of the actors were getting condolence letters. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry for your loss and blah blah blah. And the actors are like, no, fam, no, hold on, time out. We're still alive. What are you talking about? They're like, but it was a documentary. No, that was the first time that we actually see horror from a first person standpoint.
Okay, so my recommendations of what, if people want to watch horror movies that will be relevant to what's happening later this year and next year, you can deep dive into the Hellraisers. We're getting a Hellraiser Hulu series. It's a great time to become familiar with the Cenobites. The gore is top tier. The plot will move slow. We're getting a new Scream soon, so watching the
Yeah.
first three Screams.
Halloween Kills.
I've heard that is horrible.
And we've
Don't watch Halloween Kills, everybody.
we've talked about this, and this is my recommendation of like things that are going to be expanded upon in the future. 13 Ghosts.
Yes, well, so you guys know how passionate I am about that movie in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really am. I know we're going to do an episode about me deep diving into why I think it needs to be made into a mini series because I'm
It's-
very passionate about that.
FYI, guys, it's not the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo. It's a different series. That's what I originally thought.
I would definitely say according
That's so wholesome. We all know we're talking about the Matthew Lillard, Tony
According-
Shalhoub movie.
according to the Rose Nightingale scale of scary movies.
It was Scooby-Doo!
It's definitely like leaning closer to like the Sharknado side, where it's like you're more in there for a fun
But
ride.
to be honest, though, I do want to point this out. The 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo was an amazing series that literally just kind of took the Scooby-Doo franchise in a completely different direction. And we're talking about Halloween, and we're talking about ghosts. There were legitimate ghosts in that series. Where just Scooby, Shaggy, and Daphne.
Like, wait, real ghost or animated ghost?
Like animated ghost. But the whole thing's animated, Jess.
Well,
they're laughing at me, but you know what?
I'm just kidding.
Everyone who knows what I'm talking about knows that I'm right. Though it's insane.
The select few.
I believe you. I don't watch that much Scooby-Doo. Honestly, I have no taste for anything that isn't like the old stuff. Because that's what I watched as a kid.
By the way, is another one you should watch for Halloween, The Purge.
Speaking of Scooby-Doo.
I actually do like the first Purge.
The first Purge is great.
What am I going to be watching on Halloween, though?
They kind of go crazy with
probably
Purges.
Hereditary. I'm going to watch Hereditary.
Hereditary.
I'm going to probably play some scary video games.
Also that, too.
Yeah.
But, Brody, you had another point about Scooby-Doo?
Oh,
Please?
yeah. Like,
let's talk about it.
I saw this, like, maybe a month or two ago, and I can't believe that I didn't think of this earlier, but it's a Scooby-Doo crossover.
With Courage the Cowardly Dog?
Yeah, what's that?
Okay, so Cartoon Network used to do these commercial breaks where it would have different
Cartoon City.
Yeah, Cartoon City with like different characters
Golden
from different
Age.
Like
That
all
was the Golden
different
Age.
Cartoon Network series. And there was one specific one. This is the one that sparked it, where Courage the Cowardly Dog met the Scooby-Doo gang from the Scooby-Doo franchise.
Uh-huh.
And everyone was like, "Oh shit, that needs to be, that needs to have a legitimate crossover." I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
But Supernatural, FYI, if you need,
you
need to watch it. It's on the list. I have so much to talk about it.
it.
I haven't
Just
seen a
can't get
single
into it,
episode of
but
Supernatural.
I love Supernatural, and they did a Scooby-Doo crossover because Jared and Jensen, the actors for Dean and Sam,
Yeah.
absolutely loved the franchise growing up as well. So they did this whole
I loved it as a
animated.
kid.
They did this whole animated episode specifically to have a crossover with Scooby-Doo. Also, it's a DC owned Detective Comics. If you didn't know that DC stood for that, DC Detective Comics.
No, I didn't.
Scooby-Doo.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, DC owns Scooby-Doo.
That makes so much sense
The
now.
Batman franchise and all of these little.
So we can
random...
have a Batman Scooby-Doo crossover and we just haven't yet?
I feel like
There
been
has
in the
been
past.
many, Jess. There has been. You should see the look I'm giving, Jess. I have watched every single episode of Scooby-Doo.
She just looked at me and was like, "Oh, I have a world to show you."
I have a world to show you, Jess. But no, that's not for today. But to be honest, like, the Supernatural gang in Scooby-Doo also makes it canon for DC. Just FYI. I love that. I love it so much. Brody's giving me a look of, okay, Rose, wrap that up.
Nah, it's more like we can talk all day about Scooby-Doo.
I love
Okay,
the
so
franchise.
last chance for Halloween recommendations.
Scooby-Doo!
No,
like she's right. Scooby-Doo, regardless of if you want to watch the live action movies or just cartoon binge, you're always right. Or if you want to watch, what's the one where they're on, I think it's Zombie Island, right?
Zombie Island, yes.
Where it's just like, oh, it's just a guy in a mask.
No, you gotta do 2 as well, because it actually explains shit. So,
I have one more recommendation to give for a Halloween movie that is a little more lighthearted. And it's a slasher movie because I feel like those are especially... No, I did watch the Child's Play remake I mentioned earlier, and I actually did enjoy at least the first 2 acts of it. But Happy Death Day to You is actually a lot of fun. It's not super scary, but it has horror elements,
it's a horror version of
Groundhog Day. Yeah, and it's actually really well done all the way through. It's a great movie.
If you want a more fun version of like a spooky movie, like something that won't make you like traumatized. Chucky?
I don't know, man. Child's Play can still be kind of scary for some people.
But like it's still like
The remake though was
watch the Chucky sequels if you want a good laugh with your buds.
Also, Goosebumps. Any of the Goosebumps.
or any of Peter Jackson's earlier horror movie work is also really good.
Peter Jackson, always good.
There's no wrong turn in this time of spooky season.
Also, No Wrong Turn is also a horror movie.
I totally did not mean that. You could be fucking with
It
me.
is,
And I wouldn't know.
no. Early 2000s, you know how like the Hitchhiker movies had like a huge time?
Ooh, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
That's
That's
not a horror
spooky.
movie.
That's
That's
a
like
general-
that's an everyday movie.
More of a general recommendation.
Everyday movie.
Also,
Hitchhiker's
can
Guide
I
to the
gripe about
Galaxy.
something real quick?
Yeah, of course.
So I don't know what network I saw it on, but like it's like on TV they're doing a horror movie marathon, and right in the middle is Monsters Inc. That's not a fucking horror movie.
No,
But
it's
a
not.
monster film.
No,
Monsters
it's
are
not
not
a horror
specific.
movie. They're all
It's monsters who learn to
round
laugh.
and cuddly and cute. They're
Kitty!
not scary. Yeah, they're not scary. I think
Anyway, that's quick, right?
I think like A Nightmare Before Christmas is a great children's horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's not horror. It's just interesting. It's
Yeah.
Any A24 horror movie though, if you're a little more bougie. Any A24 Black Coat's Daughter, I feel like I've recommended it to so many people and no one's ever watched it.
We briefly touched on Eastern horror movies. That's more like if you're
We're gonna do a whole episode on Korean horror in particular.
Exactly.
I really don't want to get
if
into
you're
it
a
right
little
now.
too tired of the Western spooks.
and Japanese horror needs to be thrown out there as well. We mentioned The Ring. The Ring, always a good one.
The Grudge as well, which I
Grudge,
know
yes.
a lot of it. I know that's not what it's called in Japan, but I actually before we sign off, I saw The Grudge in theaters with some of my friends in high school. I remember when it came out. It was opening night. It was packed, and it was the only movie that I audibly screamed out loud in multiple parts, and that has never happened to me in a movie before. The Ring was also very frightening. I was very young. I don't know. There's a lot to be said about the actual experience of watching a movie in a theater as opposed to watching it at home in terms of your fear. Oh, the VHS movies are also scary.
Yeah.
Yeah,
if
they
you-
actually are really good.
They're like more like little quick bits.
It's an anthology, like vignette. They're fun though, and they're great to watch on a laptop. It actually adds more to it. Turn off all the lights, grab some candy, and watch the VHS movies on your laptop.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like we've touched on a lot of different subjects today.
Yeah, I'm sure like there's a lot of people who are. I know that this is going to come out on Halloween Day, but if you want to wait for a year to watch some more spooks, then by all means.
Like me.
Like Rose, who allows herself 1 day out of the year to get spooked.
Whatever. I'll get Rose to watch a horror movie whenever I want her to.
We'll trap her.
Yeah.
They're working on it. It's only worked once so far, so I'll keep you guys posted on how well it works for other movies.
We're watching Hereditary.
Yeah,
We'll
but that's
talk
on
about
Halloween.
it.
That's on Halloween, though. That's on the day that I allow it.
All right, who wants to sign us off?
I'll sign us off.
Yeah.
Bye!
Okay.
Brody,
Yeah, that works.
this is Rose. Peace out.
This is Brody. Thunder thoroughly stolen.
Yeah, it is. Thanks, Rose. And this is Jess, and thank you for listening. We've had a lot of fun discussing a gambit of horror movie
Gambit's the right
information.
word.
Yeah,
Wait,
it's a
we
lot.
never. Hold on, Brody.
No.
And Lorraine Warren. Are they fake? Yes or no?
We discussed it, and we all agree they're huge con artists.
Well, Jess and I don't think I heard Brody's.
You know, I believe in love.
That's a yes.
That's
a
a
yes.
cop out.
Yeah, because you can't testify against your spouse. Okay.
Oh, that's so right. All right. Well, trick or treat, y'all.
Yeah, trick or
Happy
treat.
Halloween.